Hello, Mr. Jeremy.
What's going on, Mike?
Hello, sir. God, you
Hey,
look
hey,
good.
hey.
Usually you wear a hat, and I'll tell you, I'm kind of a fan of the no hat look, Jeremy.
Yeah, I mean, I'm somewhere in between you and Chris, as you can tell. It's going.
You
It's
you've
going.
got the,
Take much more to be there.
you've got what we
Actually,
call
in fact, what I plan on doing is when this totally goes, I'm straight up going. I'm going Hulk Hogan, brother. I'm growing out the sides. I'm going wild.
you've got that what we call wavy hair. It's waving as it says bye bye, bye bye.
Exactly.
All right. Oh, it's so good. It is Wednesday night. We missed last Wednesday night, Jeremy, and
did.
'cause you had kidney stones, and I
Oh,
was bombarded wearing too many hats. So here we are, a week behind, but we've already got a room full of people, and it's good to see everyone tonight.
yeah.
Tommy Bain, always with us. Bleach Sprayer, not a stranger in the least. Scott Terry, thank you so much. Bobby Linden, my man, he's going to the Bobby Linden's going to the retreat. Excited about that. Self-employed moron. That's you. You said that. I didn't say that. Steve's Premier Power Washing. It's what's that say? It's just a V6. It's just a V6, man. That's what my daughter would say. And Chris Henry, the man with two first names. So good to see everyone tonight. You already see in the room our friend Chris Johnson with Chris Johnson Leadership Services. He is our special guest. Jeremy is busy sharing out to different groups on the Facebooks, as my dad would have said. And so we're going to have a good time tonight. Chris is going to share with us a lot about, we're going to talk about sales. We're going to talk about leadership, marketing. The sky's the limit. And I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys who are in the room already, there's 24 of us. I just met Chris less than 5 minutes ago. He said one sentence, and he will vouch for this. He said one sentence, and I said, whoa, 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 whoa. Are you a Baptist preacher? He said, you nailed me. Listen, I know because I am a Baptist preacher. 32 years now in ministry. I know a preacher when I see one and when I hear one. Chris, we're glad to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Glad to be here. Glad Jeremy invited me. Praise the Lord. I met Jeremy back at Sales Boost this year in February, and man, hit it off with Jeremy. Really, really, him and his wife both. Over a couple of days, we really got to know each other, and man, we really connected, and been a great year for everybody. I think this year has been stellar for everybody. So, yeah, let's jump right in.
Why don't you take just a moment while Jeremy is chewing whatever it is he's chewing. He's always got something. That boy's, I've never seen him. They didn't have something in his mouth or looking for something. So you can quote me on that, by the way. Take just a few minutes, if you will, Chris. Tell us who you are. I know that you're a longtime washer. The guys will love that. So you know us as washers. And then tell us what's been going on with you lately and where you're going.
So I have owned an exterior cleaning company for 19 years. Tell you a little bit about my story. I got saved by the grace of God February 5th, 2005 at 7 a.m. in the morning. A little bit about that day was as I was getting born again by the grace of God, I was actually dying physically of a drug overdose.
Wow.
So I was ODing in my shower alone, and I was leaving this earth. And God saved me. And so from an 8-year drug addict, full-blown drug addict, God changed my life, and I married and got the love of my life. We got our daughter. Now I've got 2 grandkids and one on the way.
Awesome.
So long story short, started washing houses, man, out of desperation, because I was a just recently saved dopehead and unhireable. I didn't have license. That my license were jacked up. No good driving record. Criminal charges on my history. And so I literally just borrowed $500 and I went door to door. And so in 2006, we lived on $7,000. That's what we lived on.
Wow.
2007, miraculously we doubled. I mean, literally doubled our business. We lived on 14,000. And then I got on with actual Pepsi Cola. And so I grew through Pepsi extremely fast. Broke the ranks in their bottling company a lot, man. Broke records, soared through. But I was able to learn how to manage people. I was able to learn how to sell at a high level. I was able to learn how to actually conduct meetings and hold conferences, because I was in a corporation that you had to learn this stuff. So in 2019, they backed me into a proverbial wall and literally said, "You topped out. You don't have a degree.
Wow.
This is high as you can go, man. You're the best guy we have, but you can't go any higher." And so it broke my heart. And what happened, I give a 2-month notice. And I want you to understand, up until this point, I had never made over 14,000 with a pressure washer ever in a year. And when I was at Pepsi, I was making plenty of money, so it was a side hustle for me. But in 2019, it became real. Like now, I'm used to a certain type of lifestyle. And, to go back to 2006 is not an option at this point, right? Because now we're used to a different level of living. And so I told my wife, I said, we'll be okay. If I can make $200 a day, we're going to be okay. This ain't a big deal. Like, how hard is that? And man, I left. I'll never forget. It was March 8th. And I walked out, shook hands, still washed their stuff, still cut their grass for 2 and 3 years after that. But we grew our company that first year to over $116,000. And we've grew it over 470% in the last 5 years. So it's a multi-million-dollar exterior cleaning company now.
Wow.
And now transition to today, God literally burdened my heart back in February to go coaching.
Wow.
And I struggled with giving up the pressure washing company. And about a month ago, I literally give my company to one of my techs. And I walked away from it, hands-free, Scott clear, done. And I do full-time business coaching, training, and public speaking now to help other people succeed in the areas that are God's areas, right? So let me give you the verse. And I'm taking a little longer than I wanted to. I don't mean to, but I want you to get the gist of this. God gave me a verse back in February, 1 Corinthians 10:24. When I was struggling with, do I coach? Am I worthy of coaching? I had imposter syndrome. I didn't think I'm not, who am I, right? That anybody would listen to me. And God gave me a verse that said, let every man seek not his own, but every man another's wealth. So God gave me a calling and an anointing on my life and an appointing.
Wow.
That it is my God-given responsibility personally to quit trying to grow my empire and to grow other people's wealth through faith, their finances, their family, and how to overcome failures, because that one I'm an expert in.
Got a lot of practice, huh?
A lot of practice.
Don't we all? Yeah, we got to start somewhere, and starting from the ditch is a pretty good way to be, because you only have to go up. Amen. So that's fantastic. Hey, just real quick there, Chris and Jeremy, we have a few prayer requests that have come in. And guys, when you put your prayer requests in here, if I miss it later on, let me know again. But we're praying for Christopher Henson. He's in the hospital as we speak, watching from the hospital room. We're praying for Tommy Bain, who has surgery in the morning. So at the end of the podcast, Chris, you may not be familiar with this, but at the very end, we always close in just a short word of prayer. And guys, if you want us to pray about something, let us know. We'll do that for you. We're glad to. We also, because we have a guest speaker, we have a guest host with us today. Then we definitely want to feed him with some questions. As you ask questions, I'm going to do my best to keep my eyes on the comment section over here. We'll throw those up on the screen, and we'll try to answer those for you. So thank you so much.
So where we want to kick off?
So, all right, Chris, we're coming in. We're mid-November, right? And a lot of guys. Okay, I know you're out in the Myrtle Beach area, right? Right in that area. So I'm not really sure how the winter is out that way. I imagine it does get cold. It does probably get some winter. It does get some winter. I'm sure it probably gets real cold on that water, really, though.
It gets cold.
Yeah. So what's some things that this is just me being curious. I've followed you for a little while. I first saw you, I think, through Jason Guyman. So I kind of know, I got a little bit of background about you, right, on business and stuff. And we've sat and we've talked and spent time together. At this point in the year, it's mid-November, season's winding down for a lot of guys, especially, probably north of Georgia. Starting to get a little bit slow. What's some things that we can do right now to kind of get a last little hoorah in? And then what are things that we should be doing over winter, prepping ourselves to set us up for, increased profits, increased revenue for next year?
So that's kind of a multifaceted question. And I know a lot of pressure washing guys, they pivot in the wintertime and either they install Christmas lights. A lot of people are getting into landscape lighting now. I don't know if a lot of your people do that or not. If you're just strictly talking about pressure washing, that's what we'll deal with. Okay. So I'll run with that thought in mind. Is that cool?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. So I'm going to give you my numbers. And so here it gets cold. January and February are the worst 2 months of the year. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to just give you my numbers. So in January of 2020, we did $11,230. 21, we did $14,980.
Okay.
In 23, we did $30,000 in January.
So you tripled pretty much. You tripled. Well, you doubled. Well,
Yeah, I doubled. Over a 2-year span, we doubled. So so what I want to do is I want to encourage you.
Yeah.
No matter where you are in the country, there is work to be done.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first thing you've got to understand.
That's good. That's good.
And it's a mindset issue, guys. When you have the mindset that you believe everything is done and over, you're going to inevitably quit because you've subconsciously programmed your mind to not go any further. You've got to believe there's something to do. All right, so if we're above the middle of the earth here where, it freezes more readily than it does on the south end, right?
Yeah.
If you have a hot water machine, guys, you've got gutters that are frozen. You can clean them with hot water and clean them out, make sure they're running and smooth and not heavy weighted where they'll fall off houses, creating problems. That's a way to sell, right?
Yeah. Sure.
You've got gutter clean out. I don't know if your guys install gutter guards, but I want to throw a deal out here. Cleaning out gutters and installing gutter guards will change your life year round.
Yeah, sure enough.
I'm telling you guys, your average ticket, try to get your average ticket up to where when you go to these jobs in the wintertime, if you're only doing 2 to 3 jobs a week instead of 10, at least those 2 to 3 jobs are getting you $1,000, $1,200, $1,500 a pop. If you start installing gutter guards, you could be making $6,000 to $7,000 a pop. So I want you to think about what can I do where I live to make sure I've got enough money. And here's the next thought, Jeremy.
Yep.
Most people in this line of work, guys, I'm one of you, okay? So I'm going to call you out on the carpet because I know you. We think we're the only people that can do it as good as we can.
Right.
And we don't hire people because we're afraid of two things. One, they're going to mess something up. Or two, how am I going to make sure I'm able to feed them? If you will get over fear number two and understand it's your responsibility, whether you're on the truck or not, you should be thinking, I've got 3 guys to feed. How can I charge enough money so that I can pay 3 guys?
That's good.
And that way, when you go to hire 3 guys, you've got enough in the bank and you've been used to charging this much that you can actually hire 3 guys and get the same amount of work done. Or, well, actually 3 times the work, but you'll be making the same amount of money per square foot, per linear foot. That's the secret sauce, guys.
Yeah.
So I read a quote today. I'm a John Maxwell certified coach. And this was in one of the things John Maxwell had today that I read over, and it blew my mind. I know the saying, but it never made sense to me like it did today. Let me give it to you. Ready?
Sure.
This is going to be good now.
I'm ready.
This is going to be good. This is going to break your brain. Have you ever heard the saying, start with the end in mind?
Absolutely. Yep.
I have too. And we all say that. And we all proverbially say we get it, right? I was always lying because I really didn't never get it until today I got it. Like it made sense on another level. I'm gonna give it to you. Are you ready? This is so good. Oh my God, this is so good. If you're gonna leave from New York City and go to Los Angeles, California, if you don't start, so there's a software company, and here's how the software company works. The software company has to start in Los Angeles, California, and work backwards to the point of destination where you leave. From where you leave to the destination has to start with the end in mind. And John Maxwell said, I asked him why that don't make sense. With all the AI programs and all the nuances of technology, why can't it just go and build the map and build the road? What? I don't understand. He said the software company has to start with the end in mind. That way, every time it comes back toward the original point, it avoids all detours and all dead-end roads and all cul-de-sacs. This is how the program works.
It makes sense.
He said if we were to start from New York City and did not tell it California, it would turn down every road looking for a destination and end up in cul-de-sacs and dead-end roads and roundabouts and circles, and it would take 25 times longer to get to California.
Okay.
That broke my brain.
I know where you're going with that.
So if we as cleaners, as exterior cleaners, as Christmas light installers, as service men and women, if we don't start with the end in mind, if we don't have a 10-year plan, a 5-year plan of where we want to go, we're going to tiptoe through the tulips and we're going to get so lost in the weeds along the way. This is why 68% of small businesses fail in the first 5 years because they get burnt out.
That makes sense.
They run out of money. They run out of steam because they've tried every little thing, man, and nothing worked. And they quit. And it breaks my heart.
Sure. Because
you don't have to end up that way. Now, I'm very passionate about this.
Well, I can tell. Wipe the sweat. We got it. It's a long night.
Hey, boys, our people are dying by the droves, man. And they're taking out second mortgages and they're sacrificing their kids' college tuition to go for a dream and a hope and an aspiration to leave a legacy. and they're burning out.
And they're burning out, and keeping the end in mind. Starting with the end in mind means keeping the end in mind. We've got a couple of questions here I want us to answer. And Chris, you've been in this for a long, long time. We always end up answering questions. Here it is on the screen. What would you suggest here for out of the box or out of the toolbox tinker for us?
Residential or commercial?
Great question. I think probably on the line, most people in the room are going to be residential. And the question again is, I have a 5.5 on my trailer, planning to add another machine. That tells me there he's probably residential.
Yeah.
8 or 10.
I would go 8. Mm-hmm. Personally, I have both.
Yep.
I despise a 10 unless I'm doing commercial.
Okay.
Now, I will put a caveat on it. You can get this little fancy unloader. You know, it looks like a little pyramid. Looks like a little cylinder thing. It ain't got no springs on it. You know, it's a little fancy one. But when you pull the trigger on it, it slowly adds the pressure. I'm just giving you what it does so people understand. It slowly adds the pressure where if you use a regular unloader on a 10-gallon machine and you're on a 28-foot ladder and pull the trigger, you're going for an air flight.
Right.
You're going off. You're coming off the ladder.
You might go from New York to California, right?
Yeah. And so I always recommend on residential, an 8 gallon a minute will clean a 3-story house from the ground, 0 problems.
Right. That's right.
If you get a hot water 8 gallon, you can even clean concrete faster. But a cold 8 water, man, it's ideal. It's one of the best roundabout machines for all residential work, period.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
100% agreed. And we do get this question from time to time. And Jeremy and I both, we kind of land the plane on the 8. I have a 10 as well. I enjoy my 10, and I'll dumb it down a little bit on the throttle if I need to. It's there mostly for concrete work and only large jobs, but I use my 10 every single day. So thank you for the question, brother. We do have another one coming up here. Let me find it real super quick.
Let me get this real quick.
Yep, go right ahead.
While we're on. So Derek, I'm not sure what the one Chris is talking about, but it's a I use a ZK1. That's essentially what he's referring to, is a flow actuated unloader.
Yeah. Either a K7 or a K1. Yep.
Yeah. The K7 was what I was kind of referring to, but either one of them. But it does help a lot with a 10 just because of the and guys, I've watched so long, my shoulders are blowed out, and every time you pull that trigger and that gun does this, you're like in a boxing ring all day, and it's not good for your shoulders, your joints, unless you get that unloader, man, it'll change your life.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
True story. Tommy Bain, was that Tommy or was that? No, it's Tommy Snyder. Go right ahead. Tony Snyder.
Yeah.
What do you suggest to charge for gutter cleaning? We just spoke of gutters, so great question. I have guys in my area literally advertising a flat rate of $50 to $75. I have no idea how they make money doing this, and neither do anybody else in this room. So what would you suggest, Chris, for cleaning gutters?
I'm assuming he's talking about cleaning gutters out.
Yeah, sure. Because
I do multiple things on gutters. I gutter bright and I clean them out, and then I install gutter guards. So I'm a 3-tier gutter cleaner.
Sure. That's it. Yep.
So, if you're cleaning gutters out, my minimum is $1.50 a linear foot minimum on a 1-story house. If you go to 2 stories, I go up to $2. If I go to 3-story houses, I charge almost $4.50 a foot. Absolutely. Because I don't want to have to be on a 40-foot ladder, and I really don't want them to ask me to do it. But if they're going to do it, I'm going to get paid to do it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, I cleaned one out today that I had to call somebody and say, hey, man, I'm by myself. Hang out on the phone with me because I'm a little bit nervous. So we get those from time to time. That's a great question. Very nice. Thank you for your question, and feel free to ask more questions. Derek here says the ZK1 unloader, K7. Yep, absolutely, bro. That's what you're looking for right there.
Yeah.
Throw that out there real quick. Mr. Toybox says 100 to 150 is what I'm doing it for here in Big Homes 2 Stories. Most of the illegal landscapers doing it. I get that you're in competition. Oh, $150 is awfully cheap to clean gutters.
It's a nasty job.
It's a nasty job. It's a dangerous job. Now, here's what you got to ask yourselves, guys. You're up there. You're either like I was today. A leaf blower wasn't going to get it, so I had to take the ball valve and just go at it with the ball valve. And I'm thinking the whole time, if this customer could do it, he would have done it, right? He would have done it. He can't do it. He don't want to do it. And what's $250 to this guy who's going to come home and doesn't have to spend two hours or more? Well, for him, it had been a lot more, no doubt. He's glad to pay $250, $300. Don't try not to think like yourself. Jason Guyman says it all the time. You are not your customer. Don't think of it like that. Think about the convenience that you're giving to someone. Also, by the way, we don't have to tell you that if faulty gutters, whether they be full or what have you, can be very damaging to a home. You're not just costing them $250, $450. You're saving them thousands of dollars. So $100 to $150 is very, very cheap. You got to do what you got to do to feed your family. I'm not faulting you there, and I get that you got competition, but think along those lines when you're pricing these jobs.
And hey, guys, if I can just touch on this real quick.
Yeah.
So when I started washing houses in 2006, I was in survival mode. I like what Jacob Way said. Don't price according to your wallet and thinking with your wallet.
Yep.
In 2006, I was going door to door, and we make fun of the $99 guy now. You hear that everywhere. Oh God, the $99 guy. Oh God, dude, I was the $75 guy.
Yeah.
I washed houses, 1,400 square foot houses, for $75. And I did that. Listen to me. I want you to hear me now on the social fear here, okay? Up until 2018.
Jeepers.
Wow. I didn't know. I had no clue. I had never been to a conference. I had never seen another pressure washing guy. I had never talked to another pressure washing guy. I knew nothing.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I met a guy that introduced me to pressure washing motivation. I went for the very first time in February 2019, and it changed my life. Mm. And I heard people saying that they're doing $1 million a year in exterior cleaning. I said, there's no way. These dudes are lying, man. There's no way. And I bought into it, hook, line, and sinker. And what I learned is people will pay you a lot of money so that they don't have to deal with the things that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
Guess what? I pay people a lot of money to do the things I don't want to do.
That's right.
And see, my mind's, oh man, it's shifted. And so you've got to shift your mind and become that type of person that believes paying people to do the things you don't like to do is the way to win. And then you will offer that type of thing to your customer, and you will get them to understand through persuasion and sales techniques that because you pay me more, you win bigger.
Yeah.
You actually get the better end of the deal.
Nice. That's a great way of looking at it. Great perspective.
It's good. I love it.
We're going to answer a question, but real quick, we'll throw this up here. Joe Deary says gutter cleaning will change your business. Haven't done today. And I want to hit on that really, really quickly. Joe will tell you he doesn't like gutters. He fires gutters every single year, but he keeps on doing it. And he sent out a mass text last week, I know, because I'm on his text list. And in that one text blast, I think he told me he got 57 gutter cleaning jobs. So he says he doesn't like it. I think he's got a gutter fetish, to be honest with you. That's just my personal opinion of the whole matter. But one of the things I really like what Joe says, and he's coached me in this area and it's really been very inspiring. He says, do the things that you don't really like doing on a home, whether it be woodwork, deck work, what have you, because those then become your customers. And if you clean someone's gutters, you may not like it, but when they need someone to wash their house, their driveway, or their roof, they're not going to call somebody else. They've already got a guy in their Rolodex. They're going to call you. So do the things you don't want to do. You will gain lifetime customers, and the lifetime value of that customer will be a lot more than the cost of a gutter cleaner. We got a question here. I'm going to throw this up at Jeremy.
Let's see. Why did I switch from the AR-30 to the AR-45? My research comes up. The pros, it shoots farther. So here you go. I didn't switch to an AR-45 yet. There's a spare one sitting on the bench. I haven't used it. I went to a P40, and I went to the P40 because the AR-30 sprung a leak, and I didn't want to buy another AR-30 because essentially they're about throwaway. But let me be fair with you. I had better luck out of the AR-30 than I did the P40. In all fairness, I really had. It's not quite as potent and as powerful with the output, but it'll do the job. If you're doing residential, that's all you really need. There's my thoughts.
There you go.
There's my thoughts. But I got a question down here. I think this is a great question that maybe Chris can speak on. And Tyler's asking about pathways to 250, and when 250,000 a year. And there again, I think about what you said earlier, Chris. Think with the end in mind. And I like it's just simple math when I think about that. Do you care to elaborate a little bit on that and maybe, give your thoughts?
I'm glad he asked the question, because I was going to give that I was going to go down that pathway anyway, because I want everybody on this call to win. I want every person on this call. I'm from the bottom of my heart. I want every person on this call to have a multi-million-dollar business. I just genuinely believe that's the perfect will of God for everybody's life, is to win big. I just believe that.
Mm-hmm.
So let me help you with the 250. You ready? Guys, this is so good. I got multiple ways I can help you with this. But okay, here we go. Ready? I get excited.
I can tell.
So let me ask you something. The guy that asked that question, and I'll ask it to everybody on the call. Do you quote over the phone, or do you quote in person?
Put it in the comment how you quote. Do you do in person, over the phone, or text?
So let's talk about all the ways that you can win. Okay, if you quote over the phone, I don't care what any person in America says. I will go behind you and give an in-person quote. I will take half of your customers, and I will charge them double what you charge them, and I will win every time. I want that to sink in now, because there's a lot of people that love this over the phone junk, and they love this quote with an estimate over the internet junk. Just put the size of your house in, you'll get a quote. Guys, that's crazy. That's insanity. You're asking the person that's calling the expert. That would be like me going to the doctor and him handing me the stinking stethoscope and saying, check your heartbeat. It don't make sense. I'm not being mean, guys. I'm just being straight up. It's ludicrous. Sally, how big is our house? I don't know. I don't know. As big as Mary's house. Ask Mary. Really? Is this what we've come to? We're in the service business. We are here to serve. And when you serve your client at a level that blows their mind, you win every time. So let me walk you through how you make $250,000 a year and do it like butter. You answer your phone when it rings. You be very polite and very friendly on the call. I'll give you an example. Hello, this is Chris from Rivertown Pro Wash. Hey, thank you so much for calling us. How can we help you today? And I smile while I say that because it comes across more humble, more warm, more inviting,
More genuine.
more genuine. If you're answering your phone, hanging off a 28-foot ladder, trying to clean the gutter out the last 2 foot, hello, hey, yeah. Hey, will you text me that information? All right, thank you, man. Bye. You're not going to win like that. I'm being honest, guys. I love you enough to tell you the truth. I'm one of you. My name's Chris. I'm your friend. I want you to win, but you got to stop doing stupid stuff. You got to quit. It don't work. Just saying, it don't work. So let me give you the recipe. You ready? Answer your phone.
There
Smile.
Yep.
Do what you say. If you say I'm going to be there at 3:00 to give you an in-person quote, here's the way I want you to show up. Now, I'm not asking you to show up the way I show up, okay? You're not me. If you don't have a wrapped vehicle, I'm okay with that, but at least have a clean vehicle. When you show up, tuck your shirt in, unless it's one of them sub-dyed shirts that's made to be untucked and it looks cool and everything like that. That's cool. But if you got a regular shirt on that just says Kentucky Pro Wash, tuck it in. Comb your hair. Make sure you look presentable.
Sure.
And when you get to the door, knock on the door. And then step back 2 steps and greet them with a really good, firm handshake and a, hey, I'm Chris. I'm here to see Miss Sue. Well, that's
Chris, I like to do it like my daughter's boyfriend does. He sits out in the driveway and honks the horn. I like to do that, and then wave them, come over here, and then I just say that's gonna be $99. That's the way I do it.
That's how they do it, and people wonder why they're not winning. And guys, here's where the secret sauce comes in. Right here, everything you've done up to this point is just the ingredients. But when you put all this together and you put what I'm fixing to tell you in the oven, I'm telling you, you will come out with a huge pie every time.
Yeah.
It can't fail. I'm telling you, listen to me. You bring the customer out, and as they're walking around the house, you're asking them simple questions. So why'd you call us out for? And listen. They might be having a graduation party, a kid's birthday party, his wife's anniversary, or an HOA letter. All this is vital. And then I want you to ask questions like this. So Jeremy, what part of the house is like your pain point? What part of the house is really the one that really sets you off? Oh, man, it's around the back under this left step, that one brick right there, dude. My wife sees it every time she walks outside. You know why that's such a big deal, guys? Because if you clean the whole house and you miss that one area, she's still going to be ticked off, and
Right.
You think you've done a great job.
Right.
And this is how you sell. Now, when you come into the house, here's what I want you to do. I want you to try to get to the kitchen table. And here's what I want you to do. I want you to quote everything you offer to that homeowner.
Right.
Now, if the roof is not dirty, I don't quote it, okay? I'm not a snake oil salesman. I'm not a crook. I am not that way. I could be, but I'm not. Salespeople have to have the utmost morals and the highest level of character, because you persuade people to do things against their will sometimes. So be ethically correct, okay, guys? Don't manipulate people. But if the roof is dirty, and when I mean dirty, if it's got one black streak on it, it needs clean.
Sure.
Because it's in a stage 1 infestation of Glioxypsomagma, and unless you want to get stage 3 and you start losing deterioration on shingles and the structure of your shingle, we need to clean it now and do preventive maintenance.
Nice. That's well said.
And yeah, I'm here to serve you. And so we're cleaning from roof to road. You're cleaning out the gutters, you're brightening the gutters, you're washing the roof, you're washing the house, you're spot-free rinsing the windows with a water-fed pole, and you're cleaning the driveway. I'm removing the rust from around the spigot. I'm quoting it all. And in 2023, now I want y'all to hang on right here. My name's Chris. I'm your friend, and I'm not lying. I can prove it. If you need me to prove it, I'll prove it. I got hundreds of people that know this. My average residential ticket was $2,017. And I had a 64% close rate. That's what I want you to get. That's how you can get to $250,000 faster than you can blink your eyes if you serve people at that top level.
Now, Chris, real quickly, in this same vein here, we're talking about in-person estimates. That's not where we're going for the whole night, but that was certainly in the equation there of asking, how do I get to 250,000? Finance guy here says, how far of a radius should a beginner be traveling from their shop or their home for in-person quotes? What would you recommend, Chris?
This is a preference question. You need to make that up on your own deal with your own business plan and your own model. Me personally, it depends on where you live. You know, I've got buddies that live in the center of Atlanta, Georgia, that don't travel 6 miles from their office, and they do $2.5 million.
Right. Sure.
But I live in Myrtle Beach, and I actually live, my office is in Conway, Ainer. And so for me to get to where the money is in Pawleys Island and North Myrtle Beach, it's a 45-minute to an hour drive each way. So what we do, we set it up where one day I quote in North Myrtle, one day I quote in Pawleys Island. You know, so if somebody calls, we know Wednesday's the Pawleys Island day. All quotes for Pawleys Island, Litchfield, Myrtle's, they all go to Wednesday, right? So I ain't running all over the country. You just put them all in an area for one day and go knock them out in one day. Does that make sense? So I travel anywhere from 40 to 60 miles from my office.
Okay. That's a lot. That's a lot.
It is.
So, Eric Grooms here, who is he's here with us every week. He's a subscriber to my Patreon channel as well. He's a top-notch washer. He has a question. What are some foundational things that you would suggest to do when first getting off the truck? So this sounds like he's just got off the truck. What are some foundational things?
Okay.
That's a good question.
It is. And if I knew more about a situation, I could probably answer it more in depth, but I'll give you a generic answer. If you're off the truck, I don't know if that means you went into the sales role full time or if you went into the administration role full time. It all depends on where you went when you got off the truck. So my personal recommendation would be to hire 1 or 2 salespeople as fast as you can and let those guys go shake bushes, kiss babies, hug necks, and you try to get into an administration type role as a managerial role where you're looking down over the chessboard and you're able to see the pieces as they move.
Nice.
That's just my personal recommendation.
I like it. That's a winning answer right there. That's a winning answer. Very, very nice. Joe Deary in the house. He says, how do you manage 5 or 6 in-person quotes and wash 5 or 6 houses per day as a one-man, one-truck operation?
You can't. It's impossible. I know a lot of people tell you it's possible. I'm telling you it's impossible.
That's fair.
Because here's what happened to you. Can I give you a story? I love stories. So in the year that I actually broke 300,000, I was still a one-man operation. And I'll never forget sitting at Christmas dinner with my wife's family. And I've got more money than I've ever had in my life. And everybody's having a grand time. And I'm sitting over in the corner with tears coming down my face. And my wife said, baby, what's the matter? I said, if this is what success feels like, I'd rather be a failure.
That's hard.
because I had worked 16 to 17, 18 hours a day some days, 6 days a week, man. I'd wore my body out to the point I didn't even half know what day it was sometimes. And it's not worth it.
Yeah.
It ain't worth it, guys. It ain't worth it. So here's how I did it after that. I would break up my week. I would wash for 3 days, and then I would quote for 2 days. And if your quotes go out where you're backed up for 3 and 4 weeks, I know a lot of people get weird about that, but it just makes people think you're bigger than you are. When you say I'm booked out for 3 weeks, they don't know it's just you. You're just booked out for 3 weeks.
That's fair. You could be doing anything for 3 weeks, right?
Yeah. And hey, and another thing is raise your prices, man. So guys, when you get booked out over 2 weeks, if you're on a truck and you're booked out over 2 weeks, you will start losing customers. Raise your prices to keep your under 2 week booking solid, but you're making twice the money because half the people are falling off the wagon because they're not going to pay your prices. But if you're on the truck, raise your prices so you work half as hard for twice the money, and you don't have to worry about being booked out for three months at a time. Does that make sense?
It does make sense, and something to keep in mind. And I know this because I know a lot of guys in the room here tonight in the comment section. A lot of these guys, including myself, we're only working 8 to 9 months a year, and our hot months. I'm thinking about Joe Deary here. I see him in the comments. His really hot months are going to be April, May, and June. March will be good for him because he does a lot of gutter cleaning, and then he'll start picking up a lot of gutter cleaning after that. But you really only got three to four really definitely, I can predict it, hot months where we're really going to be busy, and then things start teetering off. So I just want to throw that out there that while everything I believe Chris is saying is absolutely legit, some of these things he's speaking in generalities here. If you're in Florida, things are going to be different than they are when you're in Connecticut, like Joe Deary. Same ideas, but you've got to work it to where it makes sense for you. Take what he's saying here, and if you feel like there's a lot of meat on the bones, well, you spit out the bones and you eat the meat, right? Not everything's going to be meat for you. So take that into consideration. That I say that, Chris, because there are guys in the room who are going to say, well, yeah, you just don't know my situation. And I think that that's a fair statement because we don't know their situation.
I don't.
So take what he's got to give you and use it to the best of your ability as you can. Don't dismiss it just because he's in Myrtle Beach and you're not.
And so let me tell the people that do have that in their mind, guys, I'm here because I love you, and I'm here because I want you to win. That is my only reason for showing up on this podcast. It is not to just talk. It is to give you the tools and some knowledge and some confidence to go take on the world and be the lion of your tribe and serve your family at a high level. But guys, I do not care where you live in the country, okay? I don't. It's irrelevant to me. Because I have a buddy in New Jersey that works 8 months a year that does $2.5 million a year. Now that's just legit. He's got 16 trucks. It's insane what he does. He does 24-hour turnaround, 24-hour guarantee. If you call before 3 p.m. today, before 3 p.m. tomorrow, your house is guaranteed washed. He's killing it. Like, there's all kind of ways, Jeremy, to like get people to pay you more money. So if you were to give a guarantee like that, just think if you could walk up to a house and say, hey, we got a 24-hour guarantee. While everybody else is backed up 3 and 4 months and 2 and 3 weeks, man, what if you had that guarantee? You could charge what you want. It's convenience. They're going to pay for it. We do. We pay $3 for a 20-ounce Pepsi now because we're convenience.
Sure.
They will too. It blows my mind how versatile we can be and how really, really God give us a thing in the beginning of the Bible in Genesis. God tells us a little bit about him. He said in the beginning, God created the heaven and earth.
Yes, sir.
God said then he made man in his image, in our likeness, the Bible says. So what that tells me is that one of the first attributes God put in man that's like God is creativity.
Sure.
Guys, you have the power. Whether you believe in God or not is irrelevant. You have the power of creativity. Guys, get creative.
Nice.
Get really, really creative. And figure out ways to tweak your pricing, tweak your services, play with it. You can't go wrong. If it didn't work, just do something else. It's okay.
Fair enough.
Yeah, it's fair.
Yep. I like that.
Leave
like
that
that.
comment. Leave that comment down.
Leave it down. His wife's in the next room. She might be in the same room.
Yeah, she's in the next room. She's in the next
Chris,
room.
do you do much marriage counseling?
Believe it or not, we did a lot in February. Amen, Jeremy.
Yeah, that's right. We did.
Oh, that's good
We
stuff.
did a lot.
Oh, we're having a good time tonight. Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
I love it. I hope I'm being a help to y'all. I hope I'm helping y'all
yeah.
in some way.
Oh, this is great. I mean, this is great, Chris. I mean, we've had up to like 65 people on. It's very interactive. People are saying this is fire. We're getting fire comments. I mean, you're bringing it. We love it. They love it. And this is what we want. We want to feed them. You know, we like to take in stuff as well. We like to learn, but we want this to be beneficial to people who come to watch me and Mike, shoot the bull, But yeah, this is great.
I might add as an addendum to what Jeremy just said there. I want to believe that everyone or most everyone in our comment section is eclectic in their thinking. They're open-minded enough to hear what you're saying and apply it to their business. As I said before, if you feel like there's some bones in there, spit those out, but don't forsake the whole thing because of that. And I say that because one of the things, Chris, I don't know if you're familiar with my YouTube channel, but one of the things I say regularly is that I never, ever criticize someone's business model. That's their business model. And that's where we get the phrase, mind your own business. It is, in fact, their business. It's what works for them. And Chris, not everyone wants to be a millionaire. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. But I know some guys on YouTube in particular that would make you think that if you aren't out to get $1 million a year, $2.5 million a year, if you're not out to just tear it, be the biggest thing going, then you're out of your mind. There are a lot of guys who want to wash part-time. They want to wash part-time. And so we try to make that clear in our on our podcast, because we don't want everybody to think that what this is about is leaving a financial legacy over top of a family legacy. Because there are millions to be made by forsaking your family, and we would never for a second suggest that. So
one of the greatest quotes, and I'm probably going to jack this quote up bad. I'm going to try not to. Success is by Napoleon Hill. Success is the progressive realization of a worthy goal or ideal. That's
very
deep.
Nice.
That's deep.
That's good stuff.
So if you're a school teacher making $42,000 a year, and that's what you wanted to do, you're a success. If you're a police officer putting your life on the line every day for $48,000 a year, and that's what you wanted to do, you're a success. See, guys, success is not a numerical number. Success is, are you doing what you want to do with your life? And if you do it in a Christian mindset, like if we add another caveat to it, are you doing what God have you do with your life?
Sure.
And your family and your friends? If you're doing that, you are a success. It's so easy to be successful.
Yep, absolutely.
That's not a millionaire status. It's not a monetary thing. But for those that don't have a desire for the monetary gains, and they're just like, I'm gonna stay on the truck. I've had some of my coaching clients that I coach are on the truck, and they don't act like they want to get off. And so that's their choice. I'm just going to coach them to be the best person they can be and teach them leadership skills and sales skills. And I hope they last another 10 years. Maybe they will. I don't know. Bodies break down. You get hit by the bus. Here's what I challenge you. There's two things I want to challenge those that actually are on the truck. I want to challenge you in two ways. Please listen to me. My name's Chris. I love you. I'm your friend. If you are the sole provider for your home, you're playing Russian roulette. Because if you get hit by a proverbial bus tomorrow, your family goes broke. If you slip off the ladder, we just had one of our fellow washers die.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
If I died tomorrow, who's going to run my business? If I'm the only one on the truck, and I'm the only one selling the product, and I'm the only one answering the phone, what is your wife going to do when you're gone? Number two, this is for the children of God that believe in Jesus Christ. God said we are to leave an inheritance to our children's children. That is hard to do if you're broke, as a joke and ready to choke. Now, I'm not saying you need to be a multimillionaire. I'm not saying that's what you need to do is chase money. I am saying God has commanded us as men to get ourselves in a financial position to leave a legacy to our grandchildren so that our grandchildren are set up so that life don't devour them. That is our responsibility. Like, I just learned this in the last few years, you know what I mean? And it really took a hold of my throat, man. I felt my throat close up because was I prepared? Am I prepared enough, Jeremy, that my 3 grandkids growing up will have an inheritance if I died tomorrow? I'm not there, bro. I got to get there. I got to get there.
Right.
Time's running out. Time's my enemy. It's gone. I just said it's gone. It's gone. It's here. It's gone. Time's gone.
Right. That's good. That's fire.
That is.
Kind of bringing it down a little bit as we start to get to the top of the hour. Steve's Premier Power Washing is one of my competitors. I don't particularly like him. I pull up his signs whenever I see him. I get on Facebook and I criticize his advertisements. I give him 1-star Google. I don't like the guy, even though he paid for my dinner the other night. The minute 5 minutes ago when you said a police officer, I pushed that button because Chris just retired this week and is going full time in pressure washing. And I'm ashamed to tell you he's already landed contracts that I've never seen before, and that's another reason why I don't like him. He has a question for you. When you quote everything you offer, what do you find was your number one upsell, Chris?
A little bit of a trick question because I don't upsell. I downsell. So when you start at the top, the only way you can go is down. I mean, I'm not being funny, but like when you quote everything, the only thing you can do from that point is go down. And so I don't know if there's one thing that would create what would make the customer buy. Like if that's what you were asking, like what's the thing that makes the customer trigger? That's a whole nother topic we don't have time for tonight, which is called DISC profiling and behavioral analysis, which I'm an expert in. And you've got to understand the customer.
Sure.
In order to teach and train and explain the customer to the way they will inherently hear it.
Sure.
Where they'll buy.
Yeah.
And each customer is different. So I would say the number one upsell is learn your customers, learn behavior styles. You as a police officer, you probably understand behavior a lot more than most people do. Man, use the customer's behavior to let them tell you what they need you to upsell them, whether that be the gutter brightening, the roof wash, whether it be just the fact you toted their groceries in on the estimate, whatever it is. Let that be your upsell.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Tommy said he'd like to have you come back, Chris.
Praise God.
Well, Chris,
Absolutely.
Tommy, we want Chris to come back. We want you to come back too. Tommy is scheduled for heart surgery in the morning at 5 a.m. So we're going to be praying for Tommy. Praying for my brother Tommy. Tommy Bain. All right.
I had someone up here ask a question, and I can't find it now. Oh, this guy, Derek. Hey, Derek. We're getting ready to jump right into this. I hope you're still on here. I've got some links I'm going to share, and we're going to discuss a little bit about this here in just a minute. Let's see. Chris, this has been great. This has been very interactive. Lots of questions. I've had a great time. I have had a great time.
I love it.
Yeah, the just while he's finding a link there, I think to share with us. We will be having our upcoming retreat. It's called the it's called the Smoky Mountain Wash Retreat in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. The 23rd through the 26th, I believe it is, of January, coming up. Well, only just a few months away. And guys, while he's getting the link there, we finally have everything set up for you to click a link and reserve your room. And believe it or not, it's $300. $300 gets you your room, and that's what everybody's paying. It's a $300 plus tax, what have you. And Jeremy and I are making $0 from this. This is not a money grab. If you want food, you better plan to pay for it. There's nothing included. Well, I believe there is a continental breakfast, but the $300. What's that?
I'll have to verify the continental breakfast.
Okay, that's fair sure. As well. That's fair. That's fair.
More than likely, I would say they might be.
Okay.
I don't know.
And then, nonetheless, we're in downtown Gatlinburg, so if we need to go to the Waffle House, it's right there, or IHOP or whatever. Nonetheless, we're going to have a great time. We really, really, really want everybody who can come to come. Bring your spouse. No additional cost to bring your spouse. We're going to have some outdoor events. We might even do a little snow tubing. We might do a little indoor go-kart riding, all that good stuff. Plus, we're going to have no workshops, by the way. No name tags, no workbooks, just a lot of fun, a lot of rest. And we will have some roundtable discussions, but it's going to be a great time for all our Wash family. So Jeremy's got a link there in the comment section, so be sure and click on that, and it'll take you right to the page.
Yes. So, guys, just so we're clear, this is a retreat. We want everyone to come, relax, have these roundtable discussions. Now, like I said, we're not trying to make any money off of this. So what you're paying is what we're paying. They allotted us 25 rooms so far. There's a possibility that I can get some more if needed. As of right now, 6 people has already booked. Now, let me correct that. 7 people has already booked. So we have 18 rooms currently open. And I know that those are probably going to go really quick since we just now made this link public.
Just now.
Just now. We haven't even put it in the Facebook post in the groups or anything of that nature. So, Tommy, we're hoping you're well and you can come. But so what you're going to get with this is at the Glenstone Lodge. Feel free to look it up. What we try to do was make this economically friendly for a price. Mm-hmm. Okay. They were generous in giving us a conference room that holds about, I think, 40 to 50 people. So that's kind of probably a little bit more than what we were thinking would show up. But hopefully, Lord willing, maybe 40 or 50 people will show up.
Sure.
But, we're just coming together. We're uniting. A lot of people are bringing spouses or bringing their kids. And, don't think that everyone has to stay together the whole time. But we will be having breakfast. We will be gathering for, 2 to 4 hours of the morning. Mike's going to do a little daily devotion, maybe some fresh manna. And then we're going to have roundtable discussions, and then we can break and we can do some group activities together, and maybe some groups go do some different things. Sure. There's a wide variety of things to do.
It's a retreat.
Yeah, it's a retreat. It's a retreat.
So if you're part of the Exclusively Fresh channel, I really want to encourage you to go. I'd like to meet a lot of you guys. There are some local guys here that are part of the Exclusively Fresh. In fact, I'll be having breakfast with one of you guys in the morning, and had dinner last Thursday night with Steve there at Steve's Premier Power Washing. And it's just going to be a great time. We really want to encourage you to go. Again, it's not a money grab. We're not trying to get anything from you. We just feel like it's a good opportunity. And think about it. Somebody said, well, are there going to be workshops and what? No, there's not. But what do power washing guys talk about when we're together?
Yeah.
We don't talk about landscaping. We talk about power washing.
And listen, guys, there is a possibility that there's going to be, several different tables. I think maybe up to like 8 tables in this area where we can maybe divvy up, and who wants to talk about sales or increasing sales, or if someone's part-time wanting to go full-time, or if you're a one man, one truck, there's going to be different people at different tables talking about different things. And from what has signed up already with the form that you filled out, I mean, there's a wide variety of us, different kinds of washers, people with employees. So it's going to be great.
Yeah,
it's going to be a lot of knowledge in one place. And one thing that I have found going to Sales Boost, going to the Huge several times, is that I've always picked up more knowledge and more information sitting in the lobby or sitting at the dinner table or sitting there having breakfast with someone than a lot of the times I do when I'm in a class.
Yeah.
You get real, and I hate saying it like this because I'm not putting down anyone who's ever spoke, but you get some real insight when you're talking to the person one-on-one. I feel like that makes a difference for me.
I tend to agree with you.
Yeah.
Chris, thank you so much. We've got to have you back. We'd love for you to join us once again. We just love your personality. You have a great spirit about you, and you're obviously knowledgeable in what you talk about. And I can tell you've just got a humble spirit about you. We truly appreciate you being here with us tonight.
Hey, thank you for letting me come. And I do want to let everybody know, hey, guys, if you are quoting over the phone or on the internet, I'm just being in jest, just kind of trying to shake you up a little bit. You do you. But if you want to do more and win at a bigger level, in person will always outdo it. That's all I'm saying. And I just want to end with this little thing, just let everybody know kind of what I do. If that's cool with y'all.
Absolutely.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely. But I was about to say, tell us more how they can get a hold of you or how they can find you.
Okay. So I am a business coach. So I no longer own an exterior cleaning company. I literally give it away. All I do is help people like you. That's all I do now. So I coach, train, and speak to people to help their lives increase and better their life. I might give my phone number out. It's 843-504-8035. If you want to call me, that's fine. Now, I don't answer all the time because I do a lot of coaching, but we do coaching programs. I'll just tell your people, we have entry-level programs where I'm building a membership on my website where you can get a call once a week with a mastermind group. It's $97 a month, guys. It's nothing. I have another AI program I run that's like $500 a month, but it'll teach you how to do your frequency, increase your referrals, adjust your average ticket, and adjust your pricing. Like, I can teach you a lot of stuff with that program. Then I have one-on-one coaching programs that go all the way up to $100,000 a year. Some of that's not for your guys, for our people, right? But there are people that pay that in
Sure.
suites and executive coaching. So I have the gamut. So I can help anybody, whether you're in the service business, the HVAC business, the pressure washing, or at a corporation. And so I want to help people in any way I can help them. We do leadership training and sales coaching. That's what I specialize in. That's what I teach you how to do.
Well, you've helped us tonight.
Absolutely.
You've been a help to us. Chris, as I mentioned in the front end of the podcast that we always close in prayer, I want to ask you if you would care to close in prayer. If you would. If not, it's my turn to pray. But I want to read off a couple of prayer requests here, a couple of names. Christopher Henson asked that we pray for him. Tommy Bain having surgery in the morning. 577 Jersey Custom Adventures. I think he's having he's having surgery as well coming up. And so those three, we want to pray for them. And I don't expect you to remember all of that. The Lord knows, but we want to mention those. And guys, if you're one who's given to prayer, then we want to encourage you to remember these names. And once again, Chris, thank you so much. You're a blessing to us. We certainly appreciate it.
Thank you too. Yeah, let's pray. Lord, thank you for being so good to us. I thank you for loving on us, God, when we're unlovable. And God, I thank you for this group of men and maybe women too. And God, I pray that you bless these men, bless this podcast. I pray you'd use this platform to further your gospel, your kingdom, and God, that it would serve and help people in a way that they've never been served and helped before. And God, I do ask you, Lord, for Chris Henson and Tommy Bain, Lord, the 577 Custom. God, you know what each one of these people are facing individually. For Lord, you created us. And God, you know even the hairs on our head that are numbered by you. And so we're asking you, God, that you could do only what you can do. And God, we'll be sure to thank you, praise you, and God, we'll be sure to honor you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
God bless you. We'll see you next Wednesday, everyone. Bye-bye.